All right, welcome to day 4 of the Empowering Visions Challenge. All right, so we have talked about vision, the importance of vision, the strategy, the how you're going to get this done, and the secret sauce, which are the habits. So today we're going to focus on collaboration because that is the 4th part in the framework, the Empowering Visions framework. And once again, this framework is really a tool that I've used to help myself go from building a very small idea into a very large vision and really being able to take the action to make that happen over a course of time. So this will really help you if you have, even if you don't have a vision now, right? If you're still like, Lisa, I can't think past next week. This framework, if you start to implement it, it will help you develop that vision. And if you already have a big vision and you already know where you're going, this will help you actually take more action more consistently and make you go faster, quicker, right? So here, or farther, quicker, I should say. So today we're going to really talk about collaboration. But before I get into collaboration, of course, because it's the Empowering Visions Challenge, we have to jump back into vision, right? Once again, you got to tap into that vision on a daily basis. You got to think about what it is. You got to understand how that's going to feel, what life is going to be like, the person that you are as that happens, right? When you see that vision, who are you stepping into? And allow that vision to pull you forward. So when we're looking at a big vision, one tool that I want to give you is there's only normally about 5 major moves to make something happen. So whether you're writing a book, right? You're an author and you want to write a book. Well, one major move would be you have to write the book, right? So that's one. Second would maybe you have to get an editor. Third might be you're going to have to promote the book. You're going to have to maybe get a publisher. And you're going to have to do some networking, right? And then you're going to have to sell. So those are like 5 main moves, and they call them needle movers. So what I suggest doing is when you have that big vision, goal, or dream, the best thing that you can do is start identifying what are those major movers. Now, of course, there's going to be multiple little tasks underneath those. But if you can really keep what's going on the 5 major moves, that is one way that I actually utilize on a daily basis to help me get into my vision, to help me see that vision. So I will write, I have 2 major goals that I'm personally working on. One is getting back in the show ring, riding horses. So I have 5 major moves for that. And then my second thing is the Dark Horse Project, and I have 5 major moves for that. So for example, with the Dark Horse Project, right? So the 5 major movers are: 1, I have to have a plan. 2, there's people. 3 is cash flow. 4 is an online presence. And 5 is a physical location. And the first one starts in Ocala. So those are my major moves. And I write that down every day. So when I'm doing my daily plan, I write Dark Horse Project, plan, people, cash, online, and Ocala. And even if I don't do anything, right? Anything else that day, which honestly, that doesn't happen. But even if I didn't do anything that day about the project, I would still at least have it in my head when I wrote it down. And it's going to jog your subconscious mind. And your subconscious is going to always be working in the background to make you align with what your intention is, what you are congruent with. And so because one of our biggest drives as a human is to act in accordance to what we believe we are. So the more that you can have that programmed into your brain, that these are the things you're working on, your brain's actually going to subconsciously pick up all the things that will make that happen. So just doing that is going to give you monumental movement forward towards your vision. The other piece of this is anytime I have a new idea or a new information comes in, or I'm working on like a piece of the project, many times I use the tools of mind mapping. So that is another piece of the puzzle that, especially if you're just starting out on your vision, or you're like, I've got this big thing, I have no idea what those needle movers could even possibly be. Like maybe there's something, but I'm not sure. So mind mapping is where you'll take like an idea, and there's plenty of software out there. Miro is a free software that you can utilize that has a great mind mapping tool in it. It's a fabulous whiteboard platform also. And once again, those are free accounts on that. But the mind mapping, you take like the topic, and then you're going to just brain dump all of the possibilities that could make that happen or that you might need to do or ideas about it. And then you'll be able to reorganize those thought processes. And sometimes you'll go deeper on one. You'll have like one that's like marketing. And then you're like, okay, how do I, what ways do I market? Well, I could do social media. I could do phone calls. So you're going to like just list all of that out and just brain dump it on this. And then you'll have basically a map. So then when you come back to look at it, you're like, oh yeah, I had that idea to work on. And then you can delve into those different pieces separately. So I just wanted to give you guys a couple tools and tips to help you develop that vision, to really help you start mapping it out. Because once again, we have that big vision. Now we got to figure out the strategy, the path, the way that you're going to get there, right? So the more that you can identify the things that are really going to help you actually achieve that vision, that's the game changer. Because then when you wake up in the morning and you're like, wait, I do have a vision. I have one. And then if you actually know the steps, you're not going to sit there and go like, well, what am I supposed to do today? Right? You're like, actually, I have like 4 actions I could literally take right now. Right? So that gives you so much more agency because I know I mentioned one of the first videos or one of the first lives was if you're fully motivated, you're like, I'm in, I'm doing this, I've got this, the chances of you actually taking action, only 50%. So you have to have other tools and techniques and things in place to help you actually have more volition or more agency and the actual ability to take action on that thought process and on the things that you want to do. And that is really what this framework is built around. It's like we're creating the momentum, we're creating the energy to get it done, and then we're giving it a path and really setting up consistent ways to make that happen, even on the days when you don't feel like it. Even on the days when you're like, that vision, it's pretty hazy right now. It's kind of foggy, can't see it so well because something in my life today is causing that, right? So this is what will help you over the long term really stay focused on where you're going and not getting sidetracked. The other piece that I really wanted to chat about today is going back to habits, because once again, habits are my favorite topic, and those have been the game changer to make this happen. So one major habit that I want to talk about and make very specific today is the habit of sleeping. So I know a lot of us, at least myself, most of my life, I didn't sleep that much because I thought, I'll sleep when I'm dead, or yeah, I rode horses and showed competitively, so there wasn't really any time to be sleeping. Plus, I was going to school. I had all these things I was doing, and I didn't prioritize sleep. I would sleep maybe 4 or 5 hours a night for many, many years. And it's amazing. No wonder I couldn't stay awake through a movie. I mean, shocking, right? So one thing that has been the most critical for me has been to institute better sleeping patterns. I make sure that I sleep at least 7 hours a night. Now, how do you make that happen, right? So the biggest thing that changed it for me was to implement a rule that when I go to sleep, I cannot get out of bed until 7 hours has passed. Now, even if I'm lie awake, that's fine, but there's no getting up. There's no checking the phone. There's no doing other things other than closing my eyes and sleeping. So just implementing that, just making that decision to do that has been a game changer. And it is insane how much more energy I have as long as I get that 7 hours. Now, there are a few nights a week that I will actually not have the alarm and I can sleep 8 or 9. For myself, that works really well. Some people need a little bit more than maybe that 7 hours. So I know my sister, who is a very high performer and who is extremely successful, she's like, 9 hours. I need 9. And I'm like, okay, gotcha. I'm on page. So prioritizing that actually really helps you in all of the other things that you do, because when you're sleeping only that 5 hours a night, you are basically cognitively drunk. So it's as being as impaired as though you had been drinking. So if you're going to look at like how the brain works, that is scary. If you're trying to operate at optimal levels, you're trying to bring something together, you're going after a big vision, goal, or dream, and you don't have that kind of thought process that's actually functioning, how are you going to get there? right? So I think prioritizing sleep is one of those habits, and I guess you could call that a routine habit because it's a daily habit, right? So for me, it's also a reset habit, but I think for me, that has been one that really, really helped me, and just setting that rule. So it's like, okay, well, if I want to get up at 5 a.m., I need to be in bed by 10 p.m. Period. End of sentence. If I stay up later, then I need to be able to sleep in longer. So really being aware of that. And I know that's hard if somebody has a newborn child. Okay, that's sorry, but that's going to be a time in life when you're going to have to prioritize child, and you're going to have to figure out other ways to get that sleep in, right? So I know there's sometimes, but I would highly recommend, no matter what you're doing, to really, really hone in on that sleeping piece of the puzzle. And you will be amazed at how much more productive you are, at how much more able you are to have empathy for others, which also means that you can connect better with them, right? Rather than being hangry, you're actually like, wow, other people have feelings too. I'm not just the only one operating as a zombie on no sleep, right? So super, super critical. All right, so let's jump into the collaboration part. This part of the framework for me is a critical piece. And the reality is, it takes a village to do anything, right? We really, as humans, we need that connection. It's one of our major drives. We need to have others around us. And so there are all kinds of ways that you can collaborate with other people. You can build partnerships with them. You can be part of a community. You can have friendships. And I think that there's a lot of different ways that that happens. Now, one of the things about collaboration is the idea of accountability. And I'm going to jump into that in a little bit, but I wanted to tell, before I jump fully into the accountability part of having accountability partners and all of that fun stuff. One piece of this is, and I have another great book to recommend, and it's actually called Uncommon Accountability, The Greater Success to Fulfillment. And this book is actually by the guys, it's by Brian P. Moran and Michael Lennington, and they're the guys that wrote the book, The 12-Week Year. And I was actually on a coaching session with them this morning. I'll show that again for you there. So they are really good about helping people achieve their stuff, and they utilize a time frame. This is kind of where I got the idea of sprints and pauses. Is they use 12 weeks, so I go to 90 days, but they use that and they break down their project planning and going after goals in shorter time frames, so that you have more predictability over them. And they say that, like if you're going over an annual thing, what happens is most people be like, yeah, I can put all these things, and this is what I'm going to do all year. And they procrastinate most of the year, and they then don't get the things done. So the idea is that they shorten things up. So this book in particular is actually more about, it's called Uncommon Accountability. And it's actually really more about the idea that we have personal agency, and that we have the ability to, rather than I have to, I choose to. So once you change that perspective, I mean, if you go looking at what we were talking about the other day with strategy, right? It's that little shift in perspective that changes the game. And with any of these things that you're going after, even in the past, if you've had a hard time being consistent, the ability to choose to do the action will give you the power to actually do the action. It's just in the words, right? Words are so powerful, and what you say is crazy powerful. So I recommend that book. It's a very easy read. I really, really love it. So let's talk about one research done by the American Society of Training and Development. Found that people are 65% more likely to meet a goal after committing it to another person. So you got a 65% better chance if you tell somebody you're going to do something, right? So whether you're on a group like this and you're putting in the community and you're saying, I'm going to do this, or you tell your neighbor or your friend, 65% better chance of actually doing and taking action. So this number significantly increases to 95% if you have accountability check-ins with somebody. So if you are actually doing the weekly check-ins, you got a 95% better chance of actually making it happen. So, and I've found this to be so true in my own life, and that's why collaboration is one of the major parts of this framework. And the best way that I've found that is in accountability. I work with a couple different accountability small groups, and those groups meet weekly. We talk about what we've done, where we're headed, what we're committed to, right? And so as a group, we are able to really go through all of the pieces, what we're struggling with. We're able to celebrate. One of the things this week I'm talking about it in the challenge, the Empowering Visions Challenge, but when we talk about the Empowering Vision Sprint, which is a 10-week sprint that I did the first one we're actually just wrapping it up this week. So the last 10 weeks we've been doing that, but next year I'm planning on doing a few of those as well. And really that weekly check-in and really having the plan and connecting are the things that have really made my progress so much better, right? It's like when you're struggling, you get to check in, we get to cheer. And the biggest thing we talk about when we're, what I'm talking about in that the 10-week sprint is the necessity to celebrate the wins, right? You've got to be celebrating these wins. We have to integrate all of those wins into our psyche, right? When we're talking about a big vision, goal, or dream, we were talking about where we're going and who we're stepping into. So we have to build into that person in order to do those things, right? And as you're building up your worth, your skills, your identity to be that person, it is super important to do that with others because they're going to help you. They're going to see your blind spots. They're going to help you connect. They're going to help you see like, oh, I'm not the only one with this problem. You all have it too, right? So that is a critical piece. And part of what we do in the sprint is really meeting on a weekly basis. If you don't have an accountability partner, I highly recommend jumping in to finding one. There's a lot of ways that you can connect on the network, and I'll talk about the network in a second. But there are, even if it's just one person. One of the accountability groups I started with, I was in a chat with a few people, and one said, I don't have an accountability partner. And I was like, I think that we need to do, and the other one says, I've never done this before. And I was like, all right, the three of us, we're doing this. So, and that is actually how I met Cheryl. So anybody that's been on the lives and got to meet Cheryl, that is how Cheryl and I met. And I'll tell you, she is one of the best accountability partners you could ever find because she is just so on it and just makes sure that you're moving forward and checking in. So if you don't have somebody, start to reach out for that. Let me know, and I'm happy to help connect you with people that really are in that space and want to be able to help you do those things. Because as you're moving forward, everybody else is moving forward. So that's really the biggest pieces on the collaboration, right? We need that team. We need the support. We need to be able to lean on others when it hasn't been a great day, when you do get that bad news. And they're going to be the ones that are going to help you say, hey, by the way, I'm here for you. I'm cheering you on, and I'm going to be the one that's going to remind you that you have a big vision, goal, or dream that you're going after. So that is just one of the pieces that's super helpful. All right, so I'm just going to wrap this up with how do you engage in the Dark Horse Project, right? Because now I've talked about like this big vision, and I've given you a few pieces of the puzzle as to what's happening. But real quick, I'm going to play a video it's a very short video. It's a small commercial for the Dark Horse Project itself. So give me 1 second on that. really what was inspired to help share the vision. This is one of the first videos. I have another video coming out sooner than later. It's in post-production at the moment that'll really share a lot more of the bigger vision of the project, but that is just one of those quick ones that we made. So the ways that you can engage, this is one, just for being on this challenge, for listening to this challenge, for having signed up. If you're watching the replay, this includes you. You have a free, free Dark Horse Network CoLAB'er Pro lifetime subscription. So that will be a paid subscription in the future. You guys get that for free. It allows you to, it's like the top level of paid subscriptions on the network. It allows you to have an organization, to create products, services, courses, to create groups, and you can utilize that anytime you want. I'm happy to help you get set up to get your products and services on there and really be able to empower other members, right? That also gives you access to the exchange that I mentioned earlier. And the exchange really allows you to, it's not really a marketplace per se, but it's really a collaboration platform. So it's really there to help you. Hey, I need help with this. I need help with digital marketing, or I need help with this. And you can even set it up so that you are exchanging things in like a barter system, right? Or I need an accountability partner, and really getting those pieces set up as well. So it gives you access to all of that. And that is lifetime, like I said, and I'm just super excited to invite you guys to have that. So I will make sure you get the proper emails to get that set up. I know most of you already have accounts on there. So if you're not a pro member yet and I have not updated that, give me a second to do that today. And if not, remind me, please, because I will make sure that your account is upgraded to that status. Let's see. The other way that you can engage in the Dark Horse project is we've got memberships. There at the moment, there are lifetime memberships. There are a few different types, and I'm actively enrolling founding members. Now, this is a very high ticket item. There is only an amount of 10 founding members, and that will actually help set up an investment fund that is to help build the real estate and the small business loans and aspect of the project. So it's a much larger, higher end, really for people who are active investors that are interested in really impacting the world and that really want to make sure that the money that they're spending is going to make things really happen. So that is available. I'll send you guys a link for all of these as well. The second one is the DHP group. So the DHP group will be a $10,000 a year membership in the future. Currently, it is also a lifetime setup, and that is really it will have a weekly networking. It'll start out virtual networking, but as we grow, we'll start having local chapters in different areas where we have larger members that we are also connecting together, right? And that's really for like the entrepreneur, the business owner, somebody that wants to really connect and network their company and their products and what they're doing, and really their even their growth, right? Like coaches and that side of things as well. The third is a supporting member. So supporting members get access to, they get free VIP upgrades to all of the Dark Horse Project events. So obviously right at the moment, there's not 100 of those yet, but there will be many events coming up in the future. And once again, these are lifetime. So that really allows anybody who wants to sign up for that, the ability to get VIP access to the events in the future. It has some swag along with it. And also, just so you know, as you go up, so from the supporting member, the DHP group also gets what the supporting member is. So I guess I should have said those backwards, but I think the founding members are really an important piece to the puzzle. So I wanted to start there. So I will give you a link to all of the different memberships. The other thing is anybody that has a business that wants to be a promotional partner. So as the Dark Horse project is rolling out, we have the Dark Horse Network, which is a social platform. So that platform also will have a 24/7 broadcast of empowering content. And we're working on building that out now and really bringing together all of that content that we're going to have. So promotional partners on that and in all of our content for the next year are what we're setting up currently. I'm looking for some silver partners. They will also get help with any of their websites, any revamping of their websites, and helping them with their social platforms as well, making sure that they have weekly posts, blog posts, and all of that for this coming year. So it's not just that we're going to promote them on the network, but we're also going to help them develop their own marketing strategy for their own company. So we're going to do both in that. And then there are also supporting promo partners. So that is you get some higher access. There's advertising on the network as well. And for now, all of the promo partners actually include memberships, right? So they include lifetime Dark Horse Project memberships. So that's just one of the irresistible offers that we're offering at the moment. So another way that you can engage in the Dark Horse Project is if you are an educator, if you have content that you are empowering others with, we want to partner with you in helping you get that content distributed, promoted, help you build it, develop it, all of that. So that is, we're working on, and we always will be working on different partnerships with anybody that is educating, empowering, and we really want to help you empower your vision, right? That's the whole reason why the mission of the Dark Horse Project is to empower vision through collaboration and education. So that is the, basically it's a big foundational part of how the project works. So if you are an educator or you've got content that you want, we want to definitely partner with you. Then if any of this for the Empowering Visions content that I've shared, the framework, if any of this has resonated with you, I want to let you know that also from being part of this challenge, you also just got a free ticket to the workshop that I'm going to do January 19th and 20th. And we're actually going to workshop. So it's not just me talking through the framework, but we're going to workshop the framework and really make sure that it is implemented into your own life. That'll be about 2 hours a day, the 19th and 20th of January. And you guys all have free tickets to get into that. So I look forward to seeing you guys there. And then if you want to do a sprint, I will have testimonials from the group that we're wrapping up this week. And it's been so fun to see how much people have grown and how much farther they got along in their projects just by having that little bit of reminder in the beginning of the week. So what we do in a 10-week sprint is we meet on Mondays and I coach and teach in a group setting. And then we have weekly check-ins at the end of the week. So it really helps you connect those needles. So I will send out some information on that. The first sprint of next year starts January 29th. And once again, we meet on Mondays about 5:30 p.m. Eastern. Then if any of this really dives, like this has been something that's like, okay, this is like really going to help me. I do have a few private coaching slots open. That is a very limited number. So that is also can be based on a sprint or by the year. So I will send you guys in the content in the follow-up email with the replay access to that. Anytime you want to see any of this content, you can go to dhpcolab, COLAB.com. And that is the website that talks about the memberships, the partnerships, and that content. Any of the information that you want on empowering visions, you're going to go to coaching.lisa-c.com. And I will make sure to have all of that in the emails and in any links below this video if you're watching it in the replay. I'm guessing that if you're on the replay, you're watching this on the page and you can already see that stuff. So that will help you get engaged. So most importantly, you guys who've watched this video or who've been on this live with me, you all have free memberships. Please feel free to utilize them. Let me know if you have any questions. And one more really fun piece of that puzzle is the network itself is also connected to the Dark Horse SaaS. Right at the moment, we're still working on connecting the API, so it is not a single sign-on, but it will be a single sign-on in the very near future, which means that you also have access to an entire back end that will help you build, help you with your websites. It does website hosting, the SSL. You can do all of your marketing emails, all of your sends. You can send SMS. It has a beautiful CRM that helps you with your leads and tracking all of that content. And so that is available for free as part of your membership. So we've got in production, we are working on a bunch of the getting started videos and really making that easier to do. We have a few people that have been working through that recently as well. So super excited to offer all of that to you guys. And I'm so glad that you guys have been on this journey with me. I cannot wait till tomorrow, because tomorrow we are going to go through the WHOOP framework. All right, so the WHOOP framework is a critical piece of the puzzle, and that framework has really helped me overcome the obstacles. It is really rooted in science and basically research psychology. It is the best way of achievement today by what the researchers have found. So I will walk you through how that works and what happens within that framework. It is a critical key, and I cannot wait to share it with you tomorrow. So thank you guys for joining me on this. I will stop the recording.